as it's such a gloomy day, very wet outside, I thought, right, how can I cheer myself up? Let's make a pie and let's film it to add more pressure. But this is going to be split into two. One of the tutorials will be showing you how to roll the pastry, how to fill the pie dish, how to cover the pie with a lid, and how to actually make a fancy decoration for the pie. And the other tutorial will show you actually how to make the pastry. So here we go. You'll need pastry, which I will, as I said, do a tutorial on how to make that. This is shortcut pastry. You'll need a deep pie dish, because there's no point making a pie if you haven't got a really deep filling, especially when you're having a base of pastry and a lid. So a nice deep dish, invest in one. This one is 10 years old and it's done the trick. It cost me about £5 and it's still looking as good as new. You'll need a rolling pin, like so, a sharp knife and some plain flour to dust your work surface. So let's get started. Right, I've dusted the work surface with some flour and I have my sharp crust pastry here. It's chilled, it's been chilling in the fridge. If it's a hot summer's day, it's best to, once you've made up the pastry, to put that in the fridge for an hour or so. But as today is pretty cold and wet, 20 minutes is absolutely fine. So it's out, it's ready to roll. Pastry works better when the temperatures are cool, so it's best to work fast. You don't want the pastry warming up, okay, or not warming up too much. So I'm going to make the base for this corned beef pie. So we're ready to roll. So I've just put a little bit of dusting on my pin and off we go. I tend to move it as I go. It stops any sticking, but you'll all have your own preference of how you want this to work. As I say, it might need a little bit of flour. Don't be shy with pastry. It might need a little bit of flour to stop it from sticking. This is quite cold, so it's not as malleable as it would be if it was done, made up and then rolled immediately. But I don't want it to be made like that. So patience is the key with pastry. It is actually easy to make, you know, but be patient with it. Treat it well and you'll have a delicious pie on your hands, literally. So I'm rolling this out. It's got to be quite thin, or thinner than the top, because I want it to cook at the bottom. So don't be having it too big. Hold on 1 second. You don't want it too thick, sorry. Okay, so again, I'm using that to lift. You don't have to, but I tend to move it into different directions so I get the, sorry about this. I know it's boring, but this is for beginners. Beginners don't know how to roll pastry. You know, and they certainly don't know how to prepare it for baking. And as I say, refrigeration is the key. I'm quite happy now with the thickness. I know this is relatively thin, but this is, as I say, the base I'm doing at the moment. It's not the top. You can blind bake, but I'm not. It's a traditional pie, and for lots and lots of years people have been baking without blind baking a pie in advance. Usually that's just for tarts and quiches. So I'm happy with the thickness. It is very relatively thin, as you can see, and I'm going to pop this in now. So using the rolling pin in the centre, folding the pastry over, bringing the base into the equation now, and using your rolling pin, roll it out. And that's it really. So, hand in, and we're just going to press down like so. Try not to tear it. You're wanting it firm in the base. Okay, now you can grease your pie tin, but this one's been used a lot, this pie tin, over the years, and it seems to kind of not require it. It doesn't really require it, but you can if you want. Now I'm happy with the base. Okay, now I'm just going to press down now onto the edge. Okay, and we're going to cut off the edge. It's easy. I'll just try and make sure this is in focus. I'm going to lift it using my hand, and with a sharp knife we're going to cut around, turning as we go. Okay, and we're just taking off the excess. Alright. Okay. I hope this is in focus. Oh, I love pie. Yum yum, especially a corned beef one. Okay. There we have that ready. Now, it's not quite the end, because what I tend to do is I use a fork. Alright. And I'm just pricking around the edges. Okay, not all the way through, it's not necessary. And then on the base. And that allows the steam to get through and cook pastry. And it stops the pastry from lifting, because the steam and the air can get through. And obviously if you have an uncooked filling, it will cook the filling as well. Corned beef pie, this one's actually already been made, and it's ready to eat. It doesn't need cooking in the oven. So with that pastry, don't waste it. Cover it in cling film and put it back in the fridge. So now I'm going to set up the next stage, which is filling the pie base with the filling and covering with a lid. I'll be right soon. Okay, I'm ready to put the filling in. Now, this is already cooked. The filling's already edible. It's cooked. I could eat it as it is. Make sure though it's 100% cool before adding it to your cold pastry. Okay, because you don't want this getting warm or indeed melting. You want it as cold as you can. So we're going to start adding my corned beef and potato filling. It does require quite a bit of seasoning in this, more than you would expect. The corned beef is salty, but it still needs a little bit extra, and lots of pepper. Sometimes in the cooking process, the salt and pepper kind of are absorbed into the pastry. I know that sounds strange, but it's kind of lost a little. So just make sure the seasoning's up to scratch. As you can see, I like a lot of filling. Yeah, dear. There's no point making a pie if you don't have a lot of filling. Because you want a ratio of filling greater than the pastry thickness. Okay, so I've put all the contents in, and I'm just using my infamous palette knife, which I absolutely love for cake decorating too. I'm just going to start pressing it down firmly. Okay, I want it right to the edge. it smells so good. I could eat it just like this. I really could. I hope my tutorials are helping or inspiring you really to just get in the kitchen and start baking. You know, I know I do cakes, cake decorating, but I'm a baker really, in essence. I'm a baker before I was a cake decorator. I've been baking for a long time, and I love it, and I just hope that it's a tradition that we don't lose. You know, it helps, and I don't mean just women, I'm on about men too, and you know, I think we're losing it, and it's great. You can have the family or the children around you, they can roll the pastry and they absolutely love it. I mean, just give them a few ends of the pastry and they'll sit for hours just playing, and then they can put their creation, whatever they've made, into the oven and bake, and it's just getting them involved, and this is what it's all about. So I've put my filling in, as you can see, okay, as evenly as I can, but I just wanted it evenly distributed so that, you know, there's not a huge bit of corned beef and potato at that end and very little at that end. So I'm going to now roll out the top. Okay, so this is the other half of the pastry. I've also cut a little bit off because I'm going to decorate this pie, and I thought I'd show you how I do that. This is chilled pastry, just like before. I'm just dusting my rolling pin. Now, with it being the lid of the pie, it doesn't need to be as thin. Okay, you don't want it to be as thin, and to move quickly. As I say, it's quite firm. It's been in the fridge for a couple of hours actually, but don't wait for it to get cool before you roll it, because you don't want it warming up really. And the great thing about this kind of pie, that when the fillings being put in, you don't have to bake it right now. In fact, put it in the fridge. It'll be even better the cooler it is. So you can make this up in advance. You know, you can actually make the entire pie, not just the pastry. You can actually make the entire pie in advance. So I'm rolling it out. It's getting a bit sticky, so I'm just going to dust underneath. Yeah. Moving as quick as I can. Turning as I go. I usually lift it, but I'm wanting to move quickly because I know how bored you must get. But as I say, this is for beginners, and I want to show you every stage rather than these fast forward videos that I keep seeing. And you know fine well it's took them hours. You know, it hasn't took them 15 seconds. Or am I just old-fashioned? Oh, I need to get with the times, don't I? So I'm happy with that, and I'm willing now to put this onto the pie. So here we go. So again, I'm just checking, yeah. Lift it, okay. Bring the pie over, and before I do, oh gosh, this is proving it's live, isn't it? A little bit of egg wash just around the edges. That helps it. That would help. It's because I'm wanting to get it done. Because I have had complaints about my tutorials saying that they're far too slow and boring. That's me. Slow and boring. So, again, finding the centre, using the rolling pin, and away we are. And I'm just going to gently put that, and then with my hand, rubbing it over the edge of the pie, like this. Okay, just making sure that the glue or the egg wash has it nicely stuck, and then lifting, using my knife, we trim. Okay, and then rotate I'm trying to do this in an awkward position, but it's just so I can get it on camera, because that's another complaint I've had. I'm having lots of complaints, but look, it's live. This is not, I'm not a company trying to get you to buy my products or buy my products. I'm just doing this because I want to. Okay, now you can crimp this, but I'm going to show you how to decorate it. And just at the top, do you want to leave a little vent? So with a knife, just a few slashes with your knife, and that will allow the air to come through. Okay, so I'm going to set up now and show you how to decorate this with the leftover pastry. I'll be right back. Hi, this is the fun bit, and this is the bit you can get your kids involved with. I've cut 2 pieces of the pastry into a long strip, or actually numerous strips. I'm going to make kind of a lattice to go around the edge. So once you've cut it relatively evenly, you can use a knife and a ruler, or you can use just your eye. And I've got a pizza cutter here, and I'm just going to do cut 3 strips like a plait, but I'm not going to go right to the edge, so round about, using your eye. Doesn't have to be perfect, and if it's me it won't be. And again, using your eye, running it up almost to the edge, and there's a little bit difference at the end. The last strip's quite large, so I'm going to just cut off that. I mean, they're not exact, but you know. And it's like being at home doing your children's hair. And we're just going to plait it, starting at the top. Okay. Ignore my childish ways, but I like to just add a bit of fun to the pie. It doesn't have to be boring. And this is a way the kids can get involved, because they'll love doing something like this, and I'm sure they will. And then try and get it as flat as you can. Alright, okay, and just keep doing those strips, and then you can put them on the pie, and I'll do that now. Okay, I'm done all my plaiting, and I'm ready to put them on the pie. So just to make sure that these stick, get your egg wash. An egg wash is just basically a beaten egg, and I'm just going to brush the edge at first. It just adds like a glue for them to stick to. Alright, okay, so I'll just move that out of the way ever so slightly, and I'll bring the first one in. Alright, I don't know if that's showing up, I hope so. Yeah, and where we've stopped at the end, we need to cut that little edge off. I think I'll use my pizza cutter. Alright, so we cut off that bit. Alright, so we're going to place this around the edge of the pie, like this. Sorry, I hope that was showing. And we're just going to flatten that down. Alright, like this. So to join the next one, just quickly show you, we again cut off the edge so it's loose, and we're kind of going to join it on. Yeah, I'm going to join this edge on. Alright, so it looks to the eye you're just tucking it in. Sorry if I'm not making it look easy. Okay, and we're going to tuck that in, and then with any excess, just, sorry, we cut that off. Alright, and flatten it down. It needs to be flat. You don't want it lifting in the cooking process. And you just follow that all the way around And I'll do that now rather than boring you again, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've done that, and now it's just time, before it's put in the oven, just to give it an egg wash. So, as I explained, just beat the egg in a cup and place it on. Okay. You want to put it in a preheated oven, 200 degrees if it's not fan assisted, but if it's fan assisted, 180, gas mark 6, for about 25 to 30 minutes. But it's until it's golden brown. You don't want it burning, but at the same time you want a nice colour. You don't want it looking anemic. So basically this is just family baking. The kids could have given you a hand. They could have drawn shapes, leaves, dogs, cats, fruit, if it was a fruit cake. It doesn't have to be anything amazing. This is about home baking. I'm not a professional. I'm not, by any means. I'm just a home baker. And then finally, the lid. Okay, like so. And you've made it. You'll get a lot of pleasure out of doing this. You will. I promise you will. So that's it. It's ready to go in the oven. I'll put it in now, and I'll show you what it looks like once it's ready to eat. I'll be right back. Okay, that's it, finished. There has been some shrinkage at the sides, but that's fine. That's normal. Okay, and as you can see, the pastry has puffed. It's not puff pastry, but it's short, and it's lifted really well, so it'll be nice and light. And the egg wash has made it a lovely golden colour. It's red hot right now, but the great thing about corned beef pie is that you can eat it hot or cold. It's really good cold too, with a salad. Just so you feel a bit better about eating something so maybe fattening. Have it with salad, always makes you feel better. But that's the corned beef pie done. And there will be more tutorials coming soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.